Hey gaming fans, so today's another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and this one is based on the Cyberdark monsters. I recently picked up 3 of the structure deck, the Cyberdark structure deck. Really good deck. It's got a lot of great cards in there, and picking up 3 of them, you can build either a Cyberdark deck, you can build a Cyber Dragon deck, you can build a combination of the two. But anyways, I wanted to focus on this one card. This is the one card that kind of caught my eye. I kind of like it. So I wanted to build a deck that focuses on getting this guy out and using his effect. So to get him out, you need 5 Cyberdark effect monsters, which is not a real problem in this deck. I mean, this deck shreds through itself pretty fast. And then when he is summoned, you equip a dragon or machine monster from your graveyard to this card, and it gains an attack equal to the original attack of that monster. So there is some crazy tricks you could do in this deck to actually send the really big guys, like the 5,000 guy here, to the graveyard to eventually just equip him and make this guy like 7 grand attack, which is crazy. But the other thing I like about this guy is his negation effect. So when basically if you have an equip on this card and your opponent activates a card, you can just like send that equip card to the graveyard to negate that card. So I wanted to build a deck that focuses on getting this guy out and getting some good equips on him. And so I had to come up with what equip cards I wanted to use. So anyways, let's get to the build. So for the first card, we have the Chimera, Cyberdark Chimera. Most of these, it's pretty much all of the Cyberdark cards that come in the structure deck. But so this one is it's pretty good. I mean, you can discard a spell or a trap to add Power Bond from your deck to your hand, and then you can use materials in your graveyard when you fusion summon. I figure you only need 1 because you could search this guy out lots of ways. And his effect will come in handy, and using Power Bond just is a crazy card on its own. For the regular Cyberdarks, I decided to go with the 2 of the Horn because I just kind of like his effect better. He's got the piercing effect, which is pretty good. If your opponent tries to hide behind any kind of tokens or something like that, it's okay. And then I just put 1 keel and 1 edge. I debated on whether just having the 3 of them. But I figure I want to at least have 1 more just to get the monster count up a bit, because you do need to get the 5 into your graveyard for this. Then the one of the better cards is the Claw, the Cyberdark Claw. So I put 3 in here. This guy's pretty nuts. You pretty much just discard him to add a Cyberdark spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And then during damage calculation, if a monster equipped with this card deals battle damage, you send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Pretty good. And he also has another effect that if this card is sent to the graveyard well equipped to a monster, you can target 1 Cyberdark monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So we'll have some cards in here that actually will help send this card to the graveyard if you really want to use its effect, or if your opponent destroys it while it's equipped or something like that. Really good card, but mainly for the searching is what I really like it for. Then the Cannon, 3 of the Cannon. I like this card too. There's a very good chance you're going to open up with either one of these cards, and they both search each other. Or, well, one searches one, but you want to get to that spell card, and I think that's what you want to do, right? You want to discard this to search for this guy. Yeah, the guy who searches out the spell. But anyways, yeah, so you could discard this card to add 1 machine Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand. So you would probably just discard him to grab your Claw, then discard your Claw to grab your spell. So now you have 2 Cyberdarks in the graveyard. Also, during damage calculation, if a monster equipped with this card battles, you could send 1 monster from your deck to the graveyard. Again, getting more stuff out into the graveyard, you need your Cyberdarks in the graveyard. And if this card is equipped and sent to the graveyard, while it was equipped, you get to draw 1 card. So that's good too. You get to thin out your deck too. Then we go into the Cyber Dragon support cards. Obviously, the 3 of the Cyber Core and 2 of the original Cyber Dragon. I mean, you could bump it up to 3 Cyber Dragon. I just felt it was, 2 is enough. The Core, again, you want to get it onto the field. You search the Cyber spell or trap. So this deck does a lot of searching. And the Cyber spell is what you're going to want to grab. But we'll get to that, depending on what your hand is, obviously. And then just to help you get to the Core faster, I put in the Cyber Emergencies. I only put 2 in there. I figure 3 Core, 2 Emergency. You should be able to draw at least 1 of them. And it's really just to add the Cyber Dragon to your hand. if you know the core, I believe. This is the card that you're going to want to always search out when you, I think it's your claw or whatever. So this is a pretty good card. It's in the structure deck. You send 2 dragon or machine cyber monsters with different attributes to the graveyard, 1 each from your hand and deck. So that's why you need to play cyber dragons, because you need the light. And then you get to add a cyber machine monster from your deck to your hand. And then if you do, you get to send a fusion monster to the graveyard. So this deck really, or this card really helps work with the combos of what you want to do. And then you want to get your big guy into the graveyard through that effect. So then you'll have more Cyberdarks into the grave, but this is what you're going to use to equip, or your Cyber End Dragon, or whatever you're playing, to equip to make your Cyberdarkness Dragon big. So 2 of those, again, they're searchable, so I just went with 2. I put 1 Cyberdark Inferno. You know, it's an interesting card. It's a field spell, and your Cyberdark effect monsters that are equipped with an equipped card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. So, really good card. I mean, you know, I put 1 in here. You can search it, like I said. But you get that card out, and you can almost be sure that your Cyberdark guy is not going to get killed. And then we got 3 Realms. These are your Searcher card. Essentially, it just adds a Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand with a different name that's in the graveyard. And then you can do some tricks with summoning a Cyberdark. But it's mainly just for that search spell. So obviously we're going to play 3 because we want to get our Cyberdarks into our hand right away. Then to the equip cards. So now we get to the bamboo sword part. So I went with bamboo swords because they can do some pretty fun tricks. Obviously the broken bamboo sword does nothing. I remember when this card came out and everybody was like, what the heck? Like, it does nothing. The equipped monster gains 0 attack. So, and I know some people were confused. They thought it would actually reduce the monster's level to 0, but no, it just gives it plus 0. But we need it in here because we are playing certain cards for it. And we got the 3 cursed bamboo sword. This is what makes the bamboo swords good. The equipped monster gains 0 attack again. And then you can target 1 other bamboo sword you control, return it to the hand, and if you do, the equipped monster can attack your opponent directly this turn. That's pretty nutty, you know, being able to attack directly. But the best part about this is if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 bamboo sword from your deck to your hand, except for a copy of itself. So you would either add your broken bamboo sword, or you're going to grab your golden bamboo sword, which is a draw card. So you activate this if you control a bamboo equip spell, draw 2 cards. So it's like a pot of greed. Essentially, all you have to do is have 1 of your bamboo swords out on the field. And the reason why I'm doing this too is because this guy requires equip cards. So why not equip him with some good bamboo swords and then have a draw card at your disposal. Yeah, and you know, the fact that this going to the graveyard searches out your draw spell is really cool. So if you have your other bamboo sword ready to go, then you can draw some cards. Then, of course, we need to be able to get our Cyberdarkness Dragon out, so I put 2 Overload Fusion and 1 Power Bond. Power Bond, you can search with that 1 monster, the Overload Fusion. I think there's a way you could search it, but, you know, 3 it should be enough to when you're ready to go off and pull out your big guy. And then I put in Cyberdark Invasion. I was trying to come up with another card to use that can actually send the equips to the grave. Because I was looking up on it, like the Cyberdark, the equip cards, anyways, they have to be equipped when they go to the graveyard. So you have to be able to equip it onto a monster and then just like send that equip to the graveyard, not just the monster. Otherwise, it won't work. So the monster still has to be on the field. So I was looking for ways to like destroy it or, you know, other ways, but I guess this works too. This is in the structure deck. You can target 1 Cyberdark effect monster you control once per turn, and then equip 1 dragon or machine monster from either graveyard to the equip spell as an equip spell that gives it 1000 attack. Or you can send 1 equip card you control to a machine monster you control to destroy 1 card your opponent controls. So that's part of what I like. You know, you could send your bamboo sword to the graveyard. Sorry, not your bamboo sword, your cursed bamboo sword to search out your golden bamboo sword. You know, as long as you have another sword available to play it down so you can draw the cards. Or you can send one of your Cyberdark equipped cards that gets its effect off when it gets sent to the graveyard while being equipped. So I figured 2 of these should be cool. And then the last card is, I just threw in the Infinite Impermanence. Really good that we got this card now in the structure deck. You know, before these were like, what, 30 bucks each? Something around that range. I don't know. It was a little bit high for my budget. But now that we got it in the structure deck, why not? We can use it. Before, I think I was just using the Lost Wind cards and stuff like that, but whatever. And, you know, as a note, there's also this other card that I almost included, but it kind of went away from the theme. But it is a bamboo sword, and if you activate a bamboo sword card while this card is already face up on your spell and trap zone, because it's continuous, you could skip your opponent's next main phase. So that's pretty good. I mean, I like that idea, and then you can bounce the swords back to your hand kind of thing, and then keep skipping their main phase one. You know, so then if your opponent doesn't have any monsters on the field, they're not going to be able to summon anything, and then they're going to have to, like, go into the battle phase with no monsters, and then go into main phase 2, where then, you know, it kind of gives you an extra turn, sort of. But yeah, so that's the deck. I just thought it would be fun to build it, just primarily focusing on this. Obviously, the structure deck came with all the other fusion stuff that you can fusion summon. You could probably throw in some link monsters and, you know, whatever else you want to throw into the extra deck. You just got to be careful, because some of the cards do have a restriction when you play them that you can only fusion summon Machine, I believe. So you just got to be careful on those. But other than that, I mean, it's just fun to play around with. I think my next build, I'm going to try and do like a Cyber Dragon only build, because all the Cyber Dragon cards are in this deck. So anyways, hope you liked the video. Throw some comments down below. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.